Sorry about that, everybody. I My connection isn't as good as I thought it was. Maybe last week's was a little bit better. It didn't cut me off. But I will continue where I left off. I was talking about individuals that men with borderline personality disorder, and that it isn't their fault. So it is the fault of society, as well as mental health professionals and our mental health system. I see it in social media all the time. It does anger me. Let men be men without judgments. Let them cry, show emotions, and ask for help without being looked at as weak. Number three is people with this disorder can't control their emotions. No, not so much. The fact is that I will forever feel more intense emotions than you, assuming that you don't have this disorder. And that means forever. No matter how much therapy I receive, no matter how well I'm doing, I will forever feel a stronger intensity of emotions than someone who isn't afflicted with this disorder. Now, I do have control over how I handle my actions after the emotions, but we need to crush this myth that one with BPD can't control or can control how he or she feels. It's hard enough with someone with this disorder to actually feel the intense emotions on a daily basis, but to then shame them for something that's completely out of their control does nothing but impact them in really a negative way. So acknowledge the emotion someone's having, be patient and let them sort them out, and be supportive when the actions that come from the results of the emotions are healthy. It's no easy task. They should be proud, and so should you. There's no reason why, or I'm sorry, there is a reason why this is called an emotional intensity disorder. And even if I'm in remission from BPD, the emotions will always be there, and I have to deal with that. And that's okay today, because today I'm learning how to channel them. I'm learning how to use that passion and sensitivity in ways that are not destructive, unhealthy, or impulsive. Today the emotions can be a liability, or it can be turned into an asset, really. I have no choice when the freight train of emotions hit, but I do have the power to keep that train on the tracks and not derail. Number four is individuals afflicted with BPD cannot maintain healthy, long-lasting interpersonal relationships. Watch me. Yes, someone with an active, severe borderline personality disorder can be draining to loved ones, but many times they develop sense of, hate. They fear abandonment. They may flee or lash out. But keep in mind that this isn't a unique feature to just individuals with this disorder. I mean, look at our divorce rate in our country. Look at how many people lie, cheat, abuse, neglect their loved ones. And unfortunately, it's pretty common. So for those who know they have this disorder and are making changes and are living in recovery, they're less of a risk than so many others out there who are either in denial or flat out just refuse to change. I've struggled with the stigma since coming out with this disorder publicly. I've had more people that actually wanted to be close to me when I was sick than when I actually stepped into active recovery and started managing my symptoms. And to be honest, that really isn't easy to handle. It's tough. I knew going into the awareness and education that this could possibly happen. And although I may at times devalue myself, the majority of the time I'm very confident with and happy with who I am as a person. But the myth that this disorder can, someone with this disorder cannot love or be loved in any interpersonal relationships is just that. It's a myth. Even those who struggle with the disorder daily and are not making changes can be good-hearted, loving individuals. They can be loyal friends, family members, or spouses. Yes, you may need to show a little extra patience at times when they're at their worst, but why should that be any different than showing patience to those who suffer from other mental illnesses or just in a rough spot in their lives? This disorder has a stigma, and it's really not fair. I know so many good people with BPD, and some are more sick than others, and I get that, but it doesn't mean that they should be viewed as a risk. A risk to me is someone who flat out refuses to acknowledge who they are. And the final myth I'm going to talk about tonight is that there's no hope. And I can understand why this myth is out there due to the potential severity of the illness. I talk about the high suicide rate for a reason. This disorder can be deadly. I lived it every day for a long, long time. I was on suicide forums all the time. I couldn't leave my bed. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't socialize. I had no confidence in myself or others. I was empty inside, yet full of fear. I couldn't picture myself living a life where I was able to manage the symptoms of this disorder, and sure couldn't imagine being at peace or having any happiness inside. And as you know, this disorder eventually took me out on the streets. And the first couple nights out there, I was looking up at buildings, trying to determine whether or not the height was enough to do me in. And thankfully, I had the support of you folks and experienced a series of events that really forever changed my life. And I feel like I was given another chance, and I do have that fear that it could potentially be my last. And because of that, I take recovery very seriously. I take the awareness and education very seriously. My life depends on it. And yes, I want to help others and of BPDs to better understand this disorder. There's hope, and it isn't easy at times. The amount of work, as well as mental and physical energy, is so great. But there are multiple therapeutic methods to this disorder that has been proven to be successful. There are support groups out there, many online, but they are out there to connect those with BPD with each other. So to connect people who have a better understanding. And there are many success stories of people out there who have made drastic changes in their lives and been able to manage symptoms, keep a job, maintain interpersonal relationships, and make healthier choices. I'm at the infant stage, but I consider myself to be one of those success stories today. Now many times I'm feared and looked at as a risk, but it's worth it. I'm exposing myself to potential discrimination from employers, but it's worth it. I do deal with daily paranoia because of how much people do know about me and my illness, but it's worth it. Hope is all we need to get started, and the rest comes with action. And for anyone out there who doesn't believe in themselves and believes that it's possible, you're stronger than you think. This disorder tries to convince us that we're not worthy or capable. And part of my purpose is to tell you that you are. And I'm here to tell you that it is possible to change your life. And I think the most important thing is to get to the point where you feel that you are worth it. And once that happens, you're on the road to recovery. So thanks for tuning in, everybody, tonight. And a shout out to the Chicago Cubs who finished their season today, and on to the playoffs we go. Cubs.